Hey there everyone, it's me Alex here with week 2 of my development diary for my mobile roguelike project. In last week's video I gave you an introduction to myself and a little about the project, so if you haven't already seen that be sure to check it out. I'll leave a link to the playlist for these videos in the description down below. From this week going forward I'll just be giving a rundown of what additions I've made to the project and talking about them in a bit further detail. First up this week I managed to set up my target highlighting on enemies, which involves a little UI circle appearing under the enemy you are currently engaged in, as you can see here. So I set this up in the same bit of code where I check if we are changing targets at all. So each time we decide to face towards a new target, I disable the highlight, passing through the monster list index of the previous target and enable the highlight on the new target found. Both the enable and disable functions then go through the multiple types of enemy that the index could have been by checking if it contains a specific enemy script. Depending on what the type is, I call a different C# event which takes in both an ID number and whether we want to enable or disable the highlighting on the enemy. For example, if I'm disabling the highlight on a duck type of enemy, it will invoke this event here with the boolean set to false. This event is then subscribed to a function on the duck enemy class, and as the boolean value is false, we do a small security check by seeing if the highlighter is already active. If it is, then we set it to inactive. We then just do the opposite for the new target we want to enable the highlighting on. I've been using C# events for a while now with this project as an effective way of communicating between multiple class objects while reducing the amount of cross-references that need to be made. So that's the first change I made this week. The next two are just new abilities I've added in, and those are called Bad Blood and Focus. So Bad Blood, when obtained, will increase the player's projectile damage based on the percentage of their missing health. Each time a new projectile is spawned, it will check if the player has obtained the ability, and if so, it will calculate the percentage missing of the player's health and multiply this by the current damage in order to calculate how much additional damage will be done to the enemy. The focus ability, when obtained, will check if the player is standing still. If they are, it will begin counting upwards in seconds. Each second, it will call an event, passing through the number of seconds that have passed. This will then multiply the seconds by 6% of the player's current damage in order to increase the damage each second the player stands still for. This is also indicated by a small counter I've added to the player's UI. If at any point the player begins moving, or if they have stood still for more than 8 seconds, it will call another event, resetting the player's damage back down to their original damage, as well as resetting the counter or removing it. The final addition I've made this week is to the fortune wheel being fully implemented. Later on I may end up having various versions of this, but currently this is how it works. So we have a total of 6 slots to fill each time a player activates the wheel. We make sure to always contain one option for heal, one option for a large coin drop, and 2 options for small coin drops. The other 2 slots are filled with random abilities from the potential unlocks. We have a while loop here to ensure it does not add the random ability if it is something that we already have in one of the slots. And once it has filled each slot, the wheel begins to spin, and whichever one it lands on, we give that ability to the player. I haven't currently set up the coin drops yet, so they don't do anything when you land on them, but the abilities work fine for adding to the player. And that's it for this week's work. I honestly didn't think I've done that much at the beginning of making this video, but I'm actually quite happy with the outcome I've achieved. But as always, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any feedback on the videos or the project in general, be sure to leave me a comment below, and thank you very much for watching.